a meal, and a cup of coffee. Same price. Some days the coffee costs more. Strange, in Korea this is normal. Franchise Cafe Americano averages 3,500 won. Independent cafes 4,500 to 5,000. Convenience store lunchbox about 5,000 W1. Order a venti, that's 6,500 won. More expensive than some proper restaurant meals. And yet we buy it. Every day. And also multiple cups. 2023 numbers. Korean adults drink an average of 405 cups of coffee per year. That's 2.7 times the global average of 152 cups. More than 1 cup per day, and that's the average. Which means plenty of people are drinking 2-3 cups daily. Korean office workers spend an average of 152,000 won per month on coffee. That's nearly half of the average monthly food budget of 320,000 won. Again, that's the average. Some people blow past 200,000 won, a drink more expensive than meals. Coffee consuming half your food budget. This isn't just a consumption pattern. This is a system. To understand this story, you first need to look at this country's infrastructure. Korea and Japan both had roughly 55,000 convenience stores in 2023. On the surface, you'd think Korea has just as many convenience stores as Japan, the so-called convenience store kingdom, right? But let's reverse engineer this. Japan's population sits around 120 million. Each convenience store serves about 2,200 people. Korea, population of only 51 million, same 55,000 stores serving just 897 people each. That's 2.5 times denser coverage. And 87% of Korean convenience stores operate 24 hours. Japan, 62%. United States, 18%. Late-night sales account for 31% of total revenue. Convenience stores are no longer just shops. In an era where 34.5% of households are single-person, based on 2023 Statistics Korea data, 1/3 of our households live alone. Convenience stores have become survival platforms handling meals, finance, and package delivery simultaneously. Now they sell wine, fresh meat, vegetables, fruit. The system operates while you sleep. Why convenience store lunchboxes? Laziness? No. For single-person households, cooking is economically irrational. Small refrigerator, cramped cooking space, ingredient costs, cooking time, and dishes, food waste. A convenience store lunchbox compresses all of this into 5,000 won. Catch a buy one, get one free promotion, 2 meals solved. Lunchbox sales increased 243% from 2018 to 2023. This isn't convenience food. This is rational choice. One consumer puts it plainly. When you see 11 promotions, your hand moves automatically. Here's where it gets strange. The same person making this rational choice, buying a 5,000 won lunchbox, will buy a 3,500 won franchise Americano without hesitation. Go to an independent cafe, drop 10,000 won on coffee and dessert. More than the lunchbox. Some days they'll buy a 6,100 won coffee, more expensive than their meal. 64% of Korean office workers, according to a 2023 Korean Coffee Association survey, purchase coffee within 30 minutes after lunch. 78% describe coffee as essential for work concentration. 82% cite fatigue relief. Taste or aroma, only 34%. For Koreans, coffee isn't a beverage. It's fuel. Many people confess it. When tired, they reach for coffee naturally. Not a choice. A reflex. So why do we call coffee a luxury but can't quit it? 2 reasons. First, the justification of rest. Clock in, head to the cafe with coworkers. Just a few minutes, but it's legitimate downtime. Grabbing coffee before starting work. Going for coffee after lunch. This isn't simply buying a drink. This is the only pause the system permits. Coffee becomes our excuse to breathe for a moment and also chat with colleagues. Besides bathroom breaks, it's the only valid reason to leave your desk. Second, caffeine's function. Cold coffee enters your system, caffeine hits, you're alert, fatigue vanishes. More precisely, you stop feeling the fatigue. 2023 Ministry of Food and Drug Safety data shows Korean office workers consume an average of 348 milligrams of caffeine daily. That's 87% of the recommended 400 milligram limit. We fill ourselves to the threshold, because otherwise we can't endure. This isn't individual poor choice. This is systematically designed rational irrationality. 2023 OECD statistics. Korea's annual working hours hit 1,115 hours. That's 164 hours more than the OECD average of 1,751 hours. Roughly 20 extra workdays per year. And we buy coffee to survive those hours. One office worker describes it this way. The longer your work hours, the more you seek compensation. American workers, according to a 2022 American Coffee Association survey, drink coffee to enjoy taste and aroma. 61% said so. Koreans drink it to endure. In America, coffee is a break, rest. In Korea, it's an injection, a means to keep working. So why can't we quit? When prices rise, you'd think we'd cut consumption. In fact, 67% of Korean consumers, according to 2023 Consumer Behavior Research, said they'd reduce coffee spending. But only 12% actually did. 58% say this: they'll cut other expenses but maintain coffee. One person confesses. Even when economizing, coffee is non-negotiable. So they compromise by switching franchise brands or brewing at home. Why? Quitting coffee isn't just not drinking a beverage. It's abandoning compensation and releasing your means of endurance. It's becoming unable to match the pace the system demands. It's losing the only break time with colleagues. It's losing your method of staying alert. Now let me walk you through what this actually looks like. A Tuesday. Any Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. You're not fully awake yet. The alarm's been screaming for 10 minutes. You hit the subway platform, and there it is. The cafe kiosk. You don't even think about it anymore. Just click iced Americano. The first cup goes down before you board the train. Your brain starts firing. By the time you reach your station, the fog's lifting. You're ready. Or at least you feel ready. 10 a.m. You're at your desk. The cup sits there, half empty, condensation pooling on the surface. You're typing, answering emails, attending the morning stand-up. The cup becomes part of your workspace architecture. By 10:30, it's drained. Empty vessel number 1, 12:30 p.m. Lunch. Convenience store lunchbox again. 5,000 won. You eat it at your desk because the cafeteria is too crowded. And you've got a deadline breathing down your neck. It takes you 12 minutes to finish. You barely taste it. 2 p.m. Here's the ritual. You and 2 co-workers walk to the cafe. Not because you're still hungry, not because you're thirsty. Because this is the deal the system cut with you. 15 minutes of legitimate escape. You order another Americano. This time you actually sit down. You talk about nothing. The weather, the new project manager, somebody's vacation plans. The coffee's just the ticket that buys you this window. By 2:20, you're back at your desk. Cup number 2 finds its place next to the corpse of cup number 1. 3:45 p.m., the afternoon crash. You can feel it creeping in. Your eyes are getting heavy. The spreadsheet blurs. You've been staring at the same cell for 2 minutes. Your body's begging you to stop, but you can't stop. So you stand up. Another trip. Cup number 3. You don't even sit this time. You order, you pay, you walk back sipping. The caffeine hits your bloodstream. Sharpness returns. You're awake again. The cup joins the others. A small skyline of emptiness rising on your desk. 6:30 p.m. You should leave. Technically, your shift ended 30 minutes ago. But there's one more thing. There's always one more thing. Half your team's still here. Leaving now feels like quitting. So you stay. And because you're staying, you need reinforcement. Cup number 4. Enough to look productive. Enough to not feel guilty. 4 empty cups lined up on your desk like soldiers. You grab them. Toss them in the recycling bin on your way out. Tomorrow, the count starts over. This isn't one person's story. This is the daily choreography of millions. We Koreans don't say we drink coffee anymore. We say we transfuse it. Not for rest, but for continuous operation. The speed at which empty cups pile up proves the passage of time. How long we've been in this chair, eating a convenience store lunchbox while drinking coffee. That costs the same or more. To outsiders, this scene looks contradictory. To us, it's perfectly rational daily life. The convenience store republic and the coffee republic. These two massive systems might be the self-portrait of a Korean society fueled by anxiety. We who must fill our stomachs and wake our minds with maximum efficiency. People operating 24 hours within infrastructure that operates 24 hours. Look, I'll be honest. I don't really know if this is something we chose or something that chose us. Every time we open a convenience store door, every time we stand in front of a cafe, kiosk, we consent to this system. Or rather, we have no choice but to consent, because it's the only way to endure. Is this 24-hour infrastructure a blessing to you, or is it a yoke you can't escape? Today, when you opened that convenience store door, when you stood in front of that cafe kiosk, what was the real reason? Were you hungry? Or were you just trying to survive? And right now, how many empty cups are sitting on your desk?